The Sunset Speedway late model division has gotten a lot younger in the last couple of seasons, and one of the drivers that's sort of leading the youth charge for the under-20 crowd is my man, Jordan Latimer. I got him on the line right now. Jordan, I know these are exciting times, man. These are busy days, so I appreciate you taking a little bit of time out of the schedule to chat with me here as we get ready for practice at Sunset Speedway.
Yeah, it's been busy here the past couple of months at the JL Motorsports shop. You know, the past probably 4 months we've been going out every night after work, after school. Me, my brother, and my dad getting the car ready, and we're getting close here, so sending it out for a wrap job on get it all deckled up here on Monday, and then Tuesday putting the setup in it, and Wednesday we're heading to the track. So getting excited to get back out after the long off season.
I mean, I love the relationship that you have with your dad, man. It's so cool seeing you guys work together and sort of tag team this effort. I mean, he's got to be so proud with the progress you've made in the last 2 seasons.
It's sometimes it's not the best. We get in a little bit of an argument, but out in the shop, especially with my little brother there, the three of us get going and get in an argument, and then we won't talk for 15 minutes and get some good work done, then we'll sit down, have a break, and start talking again, figure ourselves out. But
I mean, it's a family-run outing, though, right? You're going to butt heads no matter what. That's going to happen.
Oh, yeah. Even if now that we got Zach racing here, he's in the karts, racing the go-kart, so he'll be working on his go-kart, and I'll be working on the car, and I'll ask him to grab me something if I'm under the car, and he'll be like, why don't you go get it yourself? Man, because he's busy, and he doesn't want to go and get the tool out of the toolbox, and yeah, it's fun, but get arguing every once in a while.
How many years until we get the Zach man in a stock car? I mean, I got to think that he's been watching you with the Thunder car, then he saw you with the late model. He's got to be he's got to be itching to make that jump out of kart soon.
Oh yeah, we we're talking. We're gonna try and get him in a legend car here towards the end of the year, run a few laps and maybe get him in 1 or 2 races, and then hopefully next year go full-time legend racing.
I feel like the Legends division, the Legends Tour in Ontario, has really exploded in popularity in the last 3 or 4 years. I mean, there's a lot of young kids now coming out of karting that are looking to that as their immediate destination to kind of break into stock car racing. Yeah,
I mean, once I think that all started around the era when I was moving out and I got into the Thunder car. I know
yes.
3 or 4 guys I was racing with, like Jared Stewart and the 2 Letzing kids and a couple other people. That same year, within a year, they all moved up to the same thing. They went legend racing, and I went Thunder racing. So I think a lot of guys came from karting, and they're now racing in the Legend Series.
Yeah, because what Nick Ledson tells me is that everything you learn in karting, you can sort of take those fundamentals and carry it right over to Legends racing. That it's not the steep learning curve that you get when you jump right into a full-size stock car.
Yeah, and I've also heard guys say, like, it's the same kind of power-to-wheel ratio as a late model almost, and it's a nice series, too, if you're going to go down to the station race every once in a while, because it's the same rules pretty much all the way across the board, and you can go down there, and you can run in mid to top field. If you're a fast guy up here, you can go down there and do the same thing pretty much.
So let's talk late model racing. You mentioned the power to weight ratio of the Legends cars is similar to that of a late model. You got a late model at home. You're getting ready to come out for your sophomore year at Sunset. I got to think from where you were in the springtime last year to where you were at the end of the season, it's not even the same guy. You must have learned so much in your first year on the Sunset roster.
Oh, from the beginning to the end, like you say, it was a completely different game. It was, I feel like overall my team changed, and we all learned change. Well, not so much change, but learn bumps, learn setup, learn the whole car and everything. But I feel like we're going to come out this year, and we're going to start off where we finished last year and hopefully keep moving forward, because near the end there we were putting up some good top 5 finishes, and we found a few things this winter wrong with the car. It was tweaked a little bit in the frame, so we pulled it back down and changed a few things. So I feel like we're going to come out this year and we're going to do good. I hope it's a good season for us this year, and not as many DNFs and technical failures and stuff. So, yeah, hopefully this year's a good year.
But what I love the most about your season last year is, despite the technical failures, despite the DNFs, you never let that affect your attitude and your emotions at the racetrack. You sort of handled everything very even keel. A lot of guys are in this game 10 years before they learn how to do that. I feel like that could be one of your greatest strengths moving forward is being able to compartmentalize and to deal with all the nastiness that comes up when things aren't going your way.
Yeah, I feel like I learned a lot of that from karting, though, because so say something goes wrong, like last year we had a motor go wrong, and then we have to come back the next week and we have to get another one and put it in, and you try not to let the bad races affect your good races and overweigh them. So even in karting, if you had something go wrong in the pre-final and you lost a chain or had a flat tire or something, you can't let that affect you in the final, and that's only hours away. So it's a little bit easier, I guess, going in the late model because you have that whole week, but it's also long nights all week trying to get that motor in if you blow a motor or you crash hard and you got to do a bunch of body work and all set up. It's long weeks when stuff like that happens, but you can't let the bad ones affect your good races.
Well, I mean, attitude is everything, and you see a lot of these guys when they get into a dry spell or they're in a slump and things aren't working the way they want it to, you know, they sign into the pit gate in a bad mood. When you're coming in a bad mood and you're focusing on the negative, that's all you're going to bring back to yourself is nothing but, you know, just really downer stuff and really negative stuff.
Yeah, that's one thing my mom's always taught me and my brother racing growing up is if you go to the track grumpy and not in a good mood, you're not going to do good. You need to be positive and you need to have energy and you need to get into it if you really want to perform. So my mom's been a big help in that way because she always makes sure we're, even me and my brother, we're in a good mood when we go to the track. And I think that's a big part in the game. Even if you look at the top contenders like in NASCAR even, if you see guys that are all mad on race day and they don't really want to talk to the PR guys and stuff like that, then you don't really see them performing all that well. So I feel like if you have a positive attitude, you're gonna do all right.
You're absolutely correct. And when you talk about attitude, what is your attitude entering this season? Because I know that the last year it was such a big jump up from Thundercar to late model. It was a huge transition from Barry to Sunset. I mean, everything about your 2015 was just you trying to catch up with all the changes in your career and your racing program. This year, I'm thinking you're on a little bit steadier footing. You understand Sunset. You understand the late model. Are you expecting a little bit more out of your program in 2016?
Yeah, 100%. Like you were saying there, the last couple of years with the track changes and the car changes we've had and team changes, this year we're going back to our JL Motorsports. We have the car here now, and we've bought it off Ken Semkin and Gord Shepard. So we're kind of out on our own, but kind of not. We kind of have, like, they're going to still help us out and stuff, but we're running the same track this year, and we got the same chassis, and I feel like with those two experiences combined, and I feel like we're going to have a really good season this year, and I'm pumped to get back out on the track with all the changes we've made. I think my team's pretty excited to get back out there too. We're all getting a little antsy, and we all expect better, and we have new goals this year. And every year we sit down as a team, we write down some goals, and this year we're hoping to get out there and get a feature win and hopefully finish in top 5 in points. It's going to be hard with all the top guys out there, but you know, it's better to aim high than aim low. So hopefully we have a good year.
I spoke to Gord Shepard 2 weeks ago, and he mentioned that he had pretty much all but dissolved his development system, that they were sort of minimalizing things this year and going back to just having the one team race out of that shop to really focus on chasing a championship. If that's it for his development program, if it's not going to exist anymore moving forward, you must feel so fortunate that you were able to spend those years under Gordy's wing and learn as much as you did from him.
Oh, 100%, yeah. with Gordy there, we wouldn't be sitting where we are right now. We wouldn't be, I don't think we'd be sitting in the late model class here at Sunset. He's helped us, like I can't even begin to name off the things he's helped us with, even just getting us to where we are now. And then even Ken Semkin, put him in there. We couldn't do half the things we did in the past 2 years without those two. And even with my grandfather here, Gary, Gordy kind of stepped in a little bit, I feel like, and took his role on. Like, to me, I feel like he did that because he was really a mentor to me, and he helped me out with a lot of stuff and just moving the cars and stuff. So I can't thank him enough for that.
If you had to grade your 2015 season, using the traditional school grades from A to F, what letter grade would you assign to your rookie year on the Sunset roster?
I'd put our my team effort at an A+ because the amount of time and effort the guys put into getting that car out every week and just coming back every weekend and hoping to come back from the week before and perform even better. But overall, the season, I think it'd probably be a C to a B+. I wouldn't put it up there in the A range. We did have a few things go wrong, but effort-wise, I think we are an A+.
I mean, I think when you remember that you're in the land of the giants right now, racing in some of these big outfits, I think you guys really did establish a lot for yourself. You sort of came out and established your reputation. It's evident. I mean, everyone knows that you guys aren't racing with a limitless budget. You're sort of trying to pinch pennies wherever possible. And the fact that you're able to come out and race against some of these bigger teams and do as well as you did sort of speaks a lot to that effort that you talk about.
Yeah, like we don't really, like you say, we don't have a limitless budget, but me and Dad are out there every night for the past 4 or 5 months trying to get this thing ready, and it's been kind of hard with the things we've had to put into it, getting the motor, and we bought the car, and that put a big ding in our budget for this season, but it also helped us for the next season ahead because we already have that stuff. But it's kind of goes back to what we talked about at Motorama there on the stage. You don't really need to buy all the top-of-the-line stuff every year, but it's good to upgrade, and that's what we did. We made a few upgrades, and hoping to go back out there and compete with the best of the best like we did last season.
I mean, speaking to you every week last year, it felt like every Saturday you had something new to share with me that you guys had learned the week before. And that's just a typical rookie season, but do you feel as though it's going to be the same, that same narrative, that same story for your sophomore campaign? You think you're still going to be kind of picking up new fundamentals every single week that you're out there with this division?
Yeah, kind of yes and no, but like we've got the basics down pat, I think, and I mean with the new setups we're going with and we changed a few things, we're going to be learning stuff every weekend. I think a lot of guys go out every weekend. They come in and they learn stuff from the week before. I think it's just the way it goes, but I feel like we won't be in as much of a learning mode as we are in a solving mode this year because we know the basics and we know how the car handles and stuff like that. Like we know what adjustments do what to the car because we have the experience with it.
Do you still get nervous racing against some of these guys? Like I know you were kind of wide-eyed when you started last year, and you were given a lot of room to some of the veterans, and I think a lot of them respected that and appreciated that out of a rookie. But towards the end of the year, though, you were kind of right up there banging doors with guys. So did all of that initial feeling of apprehension and nervousness and anxiety kind of melt away towards the end of the season? Do you feel as though you're going into 2016 just as another one of the guys?
Yeah, I kind of feel like that, going into this season and not being a rookie. Haven't done that in a couple years now, but I feel like I'm not the low guy in the totem pole anymore. We got rookies coming in this season, and I have a bit of experience, but yeah, last season I did start off with I wasn't scared of the competitors, but I was out there to learn how they drove, and I was going to give them the benefit of the doubt. And if it came to that way. So if a guy's going to chop you, you got to give him the room, and you can't race them like you've been racing them for 3 or 4 years. But this year, I feel like I'm going to go out there, and I'm going to be another one of the guys racing out there, and feel like I have the same amount of respect for them as they do for me. So it's going to be a fun year, and I hope that's the way it is. Like, there's new guys like Lane Zardo coming in. He's going to be a tough guy to run against, like he was in Thunder. But I feel like it's going to be one of those years where it's new stuff to us because we haven't been 2 years in a row with in the same car and the same class. But it's going to be kind of fun being one of the guys and having the same respect as they do for me. So it'll be interesting.
You mentioned the new rookies coming in. If you could kind of sit them down and give them a heads up and maybe give them sort of point them in the right direction to have a solid freshman season, what would your advice to them be?
I don't know. Keep your eyes open because you never know what's going to happen next. You can't really predict what's going to happen. You can't really, for advice, I'd say you got to race your car and you can't just think about the next corner ahead. You got to think about the next 30 laps or the next 20 laps because it's not, you can't win the race off the first corner and you can't win it within the first 5 laps. You got to go out there with patience and you got to go out there knowing that you have 35 laps to get the job done, and you can hang around for the first 5-10 laps and just get a feel for the car, how it's going to feel for the feature, and let everyone sort themselves out, and then you can go and go hammer down and get it done. But you don't need to go out with a full head of steam and try and get it done within the first 5 laps.
You can't win a race in the first 5 laps, but you sure as hell can lose a race in the first 5 laps. Am I right?
Exactly. I've seen it all happen too many times before.
Did it surprise you at all last year how much faster things happen in the late model as opposed to your Thunder car? Like, did it sort of feel like you were in quantum leap there, where just everything good and bad happens so much faster? Yeah,
you kind of notice it a lot more with the body style that late models have compared to what you have on a typical Thunder car, because the nose is so far down and back end, the bumper is so far, well, it's not so much further up, it's about the same height, but with the nose that the late models have, it's way easier to get under a guy and lift his back tires off the ground and cause a big accident. In the Thunder car, there's a little bit more room to beat and bang. In the late model, it's kind of more finesse, and you can't really get into a guy as hard as you can in Thunder car because the nose is so low. Like I say, it'll pick them right up off the ground, and that's what's going to spin them around, and that's what's going to take out a bunch of cars out of a race. So it's last year was a little bit of a learning curve for that, even with the longer nose that the late models have compared to the Thunders. But I feel like this year it won't be. I got that. I think I got that down pretty good last year. So this year I don't think it'll be a problem.
You mentioned at the top of the interview that you are definitely expecting more of your program this year. Where are you setting the bar for April 30th, opening night? What do you guys need to accomplish for you to feel as though you're starting the season in the right direction?
To start it off good, I haven't really talked to my team, but with myself, excuse me there, I'm expecting a top 10 qualifying run and a solid top 10 finish because it's always good to start the season off right, and I don't want to start off the season in bum no with failure or just not so good of a run. I want to go out there and show my guys that this is our season, and we're here to compete. We're here to win races. So hopefully I can do that for my guys and show them what good equipment we have and how I can perform for them.
I got to tell you, my friend, you're sounding mature beyond your years. I think you've learned an awful lot in the last 2 seasons, and it comes through when we do these interviews. You're speaking like a veteran. It's hard to believe that you're only just 2 full seasons into your stock car career.
Yeah, I guess I feel like that's a good thing, but in other competitors' eyes, I feel like they think I'm just still the young kid, and I feel like they think I'm a young kid and I'm going to go out there and they think I'm going to light the world on fire and stuff, but I try not to get too ahead of myself, and I don't want to go out there and so much make guys mad, but I'm also not out there to make friends, so it kind of goes both ways.
Well, if you're looking for friends at the racetrack, you got to bring your own, my man. That's how that works. Bring them from home. Yeah. I know that you can't get there on Saturday without a lot of people sort of behind the scenes that maybe don't get recognized as much as they should. The marketing partners that make it all happen, go ahead and throw a little bit of love their way to the guys that help you at the race shop and the racetrack, to the marketing partners that help pay the bills.
First of all, I got to thank all my sponsors. The ones that came back this season are Kicks 106, 104.1, Kitchen Tire, AC Electric, Creatures Design, Get Jack Remax, Kruger Electric, TSS Top Shops, and then we have 2 new sponsors signed for this season, Thor Motors in Aurelia and Hazlet Trucking. And then we have a couple more irons in the fire for a few more partners this season. But I really got to thank my guys, got to thank my mom and dad. Everything couldn't happen without them, and all the long hours my dad puts in on the car, and even everything my mom does for me with all the setup sheets and stuff she does, helping me get sponsors. My little brother Zach, he's out there every night with us, helping us out, and got to welcome Daryl and Tammy back on board this season. Daryl's going to be on the radio for me. I got to thank Chris and Josh and Clark for all the work they do, and then welcome a new member to the team, Brandon. He's coming on board this year, and he's going to help us out. And then got to thank Peter Shatanis a lot for all the stuff he's done for this last season, even this off season. And we're bringing the car to him next week, and we're going to throw a setup in it. So couldn't do it all without these guys, and can't thank them enough.
You're a pleasure to talk to, my man. I wish you all the best in 2016. I appreciate you taking the time. Make sure you send your regards to your dad. Send my love to your dad. He's one of my favorite guys to chat with in the pit area. I love the hustle. I love the grind that you guys go through, and really excited to see what you guys have in store for the Sunset Division on April the 30th.
All right. Thanks, man.
There you have, folks. Sophomore season. Get ready to jump off April 30th at Sunset Speedway. If you don't have your tickets yet, log on to www.sunsetspeedway.ca to get yours today. Jordan, thanks so much. Have a great night.
You too. Thank you.